Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning, good evening, good everything, wherever you are. Thank you so much for tuning into today's Cosmic Tune-Up, a sacred space where we tune into the light within us and raise our vibrations. My name is Stephanie, and thank you so much for allowing me to be your spirit guide in today's journey. Today, we are going to discuss the new moon in Aquarius, which is actually happening tomorrow, February 11th at 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time. And I focus more on Eastern Time because that's easier for me. That's where I'm at currently. Physically. And I wanted to discuss this new moon lunation cycle. Because this next cycle, a cycle lasts for about a month until the next new moon. And it's a really interesting thing to keep track of, especially with our energies and our progress in our own personal lives. And so the new moon, as you know, when you look up at the sky, the new moon is dark, right? And this can really be used symbolically as a way to really interpret what happens at an energetic cosmic level, especially when it comes to us souls who enter into this lifetime and we are just wanting to express the fullness of who we are. And so if you take the new moon, symbolically, it is like a dark time, right? So where do you get your guidance, your inner light, your wisdom? And so that's where today's topic is. It's okay, since we're here in our daily cosmic tune-up and we're focused on expressing our higher selves, our true nature of who we are, in moments where we might in the physical external world be facing a dark time, where's our guidance, our compass, our inner star, right? And so keeping that in mind, new moon in Aquarius, this month we're going to be using the Aquarius energy so that we can properly set the boundaries and really find that inner light within us to guide us towards that next cycle. Now, when we sync up with the energy of the moon and the energy in which the sign it is currently in, we are able to tune into the cosmic source energy. And not only do we have the guidance and wisdom that we need, but we are also able to really embody the archetype, the oracle guidance that planet or the symbol, the astrology symbol is symbolizing. And we can really embody that for ourselves, especially when we go in moments and experience these moments of dark times. So Aquarius energy is always about speaking your truth. It's about honesty, wisdom, knowledge. And so you're being asked, we are all being asked, are you at this time, and especially going into this next month, giving yourself the space that you need to be your true, unique, sovereign expression of your soul, expressed in human form, and just letting you take that in. So moving forward, what we really want to consider for the next month, tapping into this Aquarian energy, is, okay, honesty. Am I really expressing my personal version of my inner light with the environment? that I interact with the people around me, and also even before like expressing yourself out to the world, but are you really being honest with yourself? And so this is, especially with the new moon, a good time to set forth intentions regarding your love life. And it doesn't have to be necessarily like love in terms of like romantic relationships, but it could be any form of relationship exchange, energy exchange, be it in career field or in friendships or family. And you also, this is a good time to set forth good intention towards your finances as well. So a really major question to consider at this time is, are you resisting a lesson that you need to learn? And consider this. If you were to stop resisting that lesson, that challenge that comes up during this dark time of the moon, and if you were to embrace it, what will you be liberated from? Or who will you be liberated from? And because Aquarius energy is, about expressing yourself, it's about breaking away from the norm. You really want to, if you find yourself in a situation where you are being challenged, the really important thing to consider with Aquarius energy is that you don't break free from a response of reacting from emotions. Aquarius is actually the sign out of all the 12 signs that is very detached from emotions. It's very logical, so hence like the wisdom. It pretty much contemplates the whole story, so it kind of steps back and analyzes, okay, what is the whole real situation from different perspectives, and then it makes the best choice. Keeping that in mind, I'm going to start transitioning now about talking about the planets that are actually really meeting at this sign, this new moon, especially in the month of February. We have a lot of planets. We have Saturn, Uranus, Mars, and we have Mercury in retrograde. So there's a lot of changes that we're going through. And this is something else to consider, that when it comes with these energies at play, again, when you tap into the Aquarius energy, you really want to have it understood that this whole month in February, keeping that in mind, there are a lot of planets that are actually going to meet around this sign of Aquarius. We have Saturn, we have Uranus, we have Mars, and we have Mercury in retrograde. So Mercury in retrograde started January 30th and will go up about, I believe, February 20th. These are energies to consider because the moon actually goes through every single sign every 2 days. So when it comes to expressing your authentic truth and your sovereign divinity, it's really about tapping into your energy, right? How are you feeling? And again, how are you expressing yourself? And every single day, there might be something either in your external world or internal world in terms of your thoughts and emotions and even at a cosmic level, because of the planets and the stars happening, where you have many facets of who you are. So you're not always going to be showing up as one stone-faced, like, definition of, let's say, insert your name here, but like Stephanie shows up this one way all the freaking time, and so this really gives us, tapping into that Aquarius energy, the freedom to really embrace all the multifaceted levels of who we are at any given time, and really to give us that grace and play around with that. But also in the experience of this, knowing who we are in these situations called life, that we want to really direct our energy towards that image of who we know ourselves to be within. So this is why meditation is perfect, because you get to know who you really are in silence, when all the thought forms are, just really kind of sliding off away from you, and you have that direct connection to your higher self. Now, if you follow me on Instagram at divine.cosmic.empress, I've been playing around, or my handle there. I wrote a post on Monday regarding the energies between Saturn and Uranus that are going to be really prominent around the 17th of February at the highest, but they're really playing around together this whole entire month. And now Uranus can be understood over time to really have that similar energy of Aquarius, where it likes to break free and experiment outside of your normal day-to-day routine. And when practiced constructively with self-control and disciplines, where self-control and discipline actually symbolizes what Saturn represents. And a little bit more of that detail is on that post there. But sometimes it is especially necessary to understand that we don't just break free and like really get up and leave from a situation in order to feel a sense of liberation and freedom, so that we can be our whole, true, authentic selves. We don't want to run away from challenges. Really, the powers from the stars, the cosmic energy around us, life energy, is always here within us to tap in and use and feel empowered. And so when we consider this month going in, and the question is, are you really expressing your personal version of who you are, the light within you? Structure and Saturn is necessary, especially when it comes to facing a challenge that has not yet changed. And I've been thinking about this like a container. Perfect representation is my bottle here. And Saturn can be represented as a container. Inside that space, volume, is Uranus. And Uranus is like the water. It likes to play around, right? If it weren't contained, it would run amok. The energy is like entropy. It would just be chaotic. It has no direction. You're not able to focus that energy constructively. But when you have structure, you have the daily habits that are conducive towards your goal, and the goal is to express yourself this month authentically, then you are able to have a great foundation to build upon. And from there, you, again, when you have a great foundation to build upon, you have a great sense of self. You're strong. No matter what happens, you don't need, and I tell my clients this all the time, you do not need a situation to change in order for you to be the best version of who you are, to show up authentically, truly in love, from a space of love. You don't have to lower your vibration in order to be the winner of whatever is going on or being presented in your current life trial or challenge that you need to grow, right? And sometimes this is like one of the only ways that you'll be able to really discover, the true nature of who you are, of yourself and your character, is through being consistent and honoring your truth. And so we'll have a lot of psychological opportunity to explore ourselves at many different facets. And most importantly to consider is that Aquarius has such a strong conviction of who she is, without caring about what is accepted or considered normal convention. And so when we bring this in the context of our daily routines and spaces, environments, consider all the facets of you. And that means the space of your mind, your thoughts, the space in the physical, your body, your environment, your social interactions with others, and then also the emotional space, your mood. You are divinely connected. You are the divine, right, expressed in human form. So oftentimes we have been conditioned to believe or to think that there's only one facet of us. But that is so limiting, because we know that the divine cosmic source energy, unity source consciousness, is unlimited, limitless. And by extension, we are not limited. And this is really great because we get to see that we are always ever changing and growing, and your journey does not end here. You don't know how you're going to grow and who you're going to grow into and create in this lifetime if you accept that beautiful game of play. And so the experiences that result between the energetic exchanges that you will be having this month, and then really this carries on forth, like it's just a nice lesson to consider for ourselves, between all the different facets of who we are and who we interact with at a physical or creative level. These energetic exchanges is exactly the approach that we are encouraged to take this lunation cycle for the next month. Uranus carries this voice, like Uranus echoes, I almost want to say she, but echoes into your ear, like the need to be a trickster, to experiment, to rebel sometimes, in relationship to the areas relating to love, art, beauty, sex, sexual energy, because you might be having an urge to really say, what is that new thing you want to try out? or you want to play around with and experiment. What is it that you want to create? What is your soul calling you to try out and do this season of your life? And it's really great to break, again, everything in terms of a cycle, because this reminds us that by tuning into the energy of the cosmos, of life energy, life is continually moving forward. And so oftentimes I've seen in the past clients, people who get stuck in a rut and they're unable to move forward in a particular area of their life. And that tends to impact other areas of their life. And so this is really great advice for us to just really see what aspect of our life needs to be resparked, re-romanticized, bring that fire back in. Now, all this energy I was thinking about it and I was like, this feels very light, playful, a different approach compared to the past couple of months, which was about clearing. But what was coming in, especially for me and most recently as well from personal experience, is that we don't have to put our guard up when it comes to change and growth. We don't have to see it as a daunting chore. It can be fun if we embrace it from that space. And so definitely try to carry on that energy of play, because it'll help to loosen ourselves up and we won't be so tied up inside and round up and like stressed out. Go with the flow with the energy and have fun in the safe space, right? Now, why are we here in this cosmic tune-up talking about the energies of the new moon in Aquarius and the other planets that are coming in around the sign? Asking why is always important. And now bear in mind that I am just sharing with you my own perspective, from my own experience and connection with my higher self. And so I encourage you to, if this resonates with you at all, definitely go out and just begin to do your own research. See what signs and symbols the universe, your higher self wants to share with you regarding this season of love. Now, this is important for us to tap into, learn how to be more centered into our intuitive inner guidance and knowledge, because we've been conditioned to be very logical thinkers, just focus on the mind, and be very strict. Because again, remember, we are multifaceted divine beings. We're not limited, we are limitless. We want to balance these divine feminine and masculine energies. And so by tuning into the intuitive knowledge and feelings and emotions and the energies of flow around us, this helps us to be more receptive and really help strengthen and connect to our divine feminine. And all these archetypal visions, I like to consider them art symbols, right? We can truly begin to explore the sacred container of how you express yourself and communicate with the external world. And it's really important because you want to show up as you. When you are aligned to your soul's truth, to your own divine cosmic coding, you feel good. And then when you feel good, you're in alignment, everything goes right for you. You see these beautiful miracles, and right means they just fall in the right place in the right time, and you're not feeling in a space of lack. And we came here all to really enjoy ourselves and to create and have fun. And so the divine feminine doesn't push, and she doesn't fight what she is confronting. She sees it for what it is, just like the Aquarius energy, and embraces it, because she knows that you cannot pressure yourself to do things or to be something that is against your nature, right? You cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself that you love, and you cannot hate yourself into thinking or really having anything sustainable. And so that's why, like in the word they say in scripture and the Bible will say, only that is true lasts, right? The living word. And when you're in alignment and you're authentic to your truth, what you create is for the benefit of highest vibration for everyone around you and yourself. And it also, that energy carries on. It's able to continue and to give life and energy to everything around it that is near it as well, right? Now, when you're not in alignment, then that energy kind of hits a wall and it won't go anywhere. It won't create. And when you think about it, you think about when you plant a seed. If the seed does not hit good soil, it's not going to blossom. It's not going to flower, right? It's not going to produce good harvest or fruit. And this is really about tuning into who you are, being authentic to who you are. And you just have to, in order to see the light of who you are, divine feminine encourages us, especially with the season and looking at all the symbols and the signs around us, especially in the stars, that by beginning to embrace and accept where you are and embrace yourself in love, because that love is the highest vibrational energy and has always the right intentions for you, and is always guiding you towards that right action, that right next step, that right next choice, the right next thought. Again, remember, considering all the different spaces, physical, mental, emotional, that make you you. And when you focus on that energy from a perspective of love, you're actually tuning into your heart space. And when we talk about the heart space in an energetic aspect, the heart chakra is the medium. It is the bridge between heaven and earth. It is the bridge between the physical world and the skies and the heavens above, the stars and the cosmos. And that is the bridge to your higher self, to your truth, your most authentic self. And this is the best inner guidance and wisdom that you could ever turn to in a time where there might be a dark season or there might be a challenging time. And when you know how to cosmically tune into your light to express the divine nature of who you are, nothing could ever turn that light out, no matter what. And so what we're learning here is really how to strengthen that relationship with our higher self, how to use the energies around us to really get to know who we are at soul level and begin to really create once we're aligned and express and accept, embrace, and embody our soul's truth and divinity. So this month, we will be focusing on discussing sacred containers, the sacred space needed to form a really good structure in order to fully and authentically express yourself as you interact and communicate with the world. And so that's what I've been guided. We'll begin with the new moon on Thursday and focus on setting the first foundation down, creating boundaries between your authentic truth, which is within you and is always within you, and the boundary between your mind. Because when you take care of the relationship of how you see yourself and how you see yourself in interaction with the world, then the relationships with the external changes. And like I said, this goes back to the beginning of the video where I said, when you know who you are and you're tapped and tuned and turned on to your inner authentic truth, your inner light within you, you don't need a situation to change. It could be pitch dark outside, but you are shining so brightly because you are tuned into who you are that you shine and you bring and you illuminate the light. And so, sacred spaces is our first lesson for this season, and it's meant to encourage spiritual growth. We don't have to run away from a good structure, because with good structure and a good foundation, we're able to really build upon that and activate and express and embody our higher self. And so with that, I just wanted to remind you guys that if you want a little bit more information that I wrote about Saturn and Uranus and what they represent, at least from my perspective, it's up on my Instagram at divine.cosmic.empress. And I'll link it down below. Let me know also in the comments what you thought about this video. It was a little bit more detailed because I've been learning a lot more in terms of the stars and how they really impact us. And I think it really comforts, at least it comforts me to know that, you know, I might show up, I might be really energized one day, you know, and another day I might need to draw back a little bit for rest, because it's really just who I am in relationship with the energy within me and everything around me, right? And that really empowers. I think that really empowers us on our own spiritual personal growth journey. If you guys would like any cosmic guidances, especially around the lunation cycles, I do provide sessions where, based off of your own personal sign, you would be able to get at least a 2-week or maybe a month guidance in terms of what to look out for, what to work out in your own life, so that you're more aligned and guided in terms of your own soul's truth and self-expression. Thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you until next time. Satnam.
Hi guys, so before I go, I wanted to add in that I'm going to be linking down below the resources such as the astrologer that I happen to tune in for this month's new moon Aquarius energy reading. It's important to do your own research. I think it's a really great way to build and strengthen your own intuitive connection so that you know what resonates for you, where you are at this moment in time on your life journey.